1, 2, 3, 4. Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies. And once again, I'm busy. I have to leave my apartment very soon, so this review will be over quick. I'll speak as fast as possible. Yeah, today I'm gonna do a movie review. I'm gonna continue with my Hong Kong movie review series, and yeah, today I'm going to talk about the movie Made in Hong Kong, in Cantonese, 香港製造, and it's directed by Fruit Chan, in Cantonese, 陳果. I know, funny name, but even in Cantonese, his name literally means Fruit Chan, okay? Going into this movie, I was a little skeptical. I was like, okay, nobody talks about this movie. It's not like In the Mood for Love or Stephen Chow comedies or anything. It's no one talks about this movie. I go to the internet, I go to the IMDb, and only a few people have seen and reviewed this movie. I go to streaming sites. This movie does not exist. So I was like, okay, no one has seen this movie in the world, right? I saw this movie and I was shocked. I feel like I've just discovered a gem, some sort of gem underground, because this movie is great. It's fantastic. I love this movie. I I know it's strange to say this, because usually I'm not a huge fan of Hong Kong movies, but this is woo! This is the kind of movie you would see in the Criterion Collection streaming service. Okay, this is the kind of movie that you'd see Criterion Collection promote. This is this good. Okay, it's this good. So this movie is made in the year 1997. It's about a teenager, 20 something years old, I guess, and he has no life. He's broke. He dropped out of school. He's not gonna study anymore, and he's working for some gangsters, and he just goes around asking people for money. If they don't give money, he's just gonna beat them up, get the money, and just spend the extra money, taking drugs, drinking, whatever. He has no life, basically. He has no purpose in life. And yes, because he's this kind of person, his father left him when he was really young, and then his mother left him in the movie. So he was very alone and he felt very useless. And he met a person called Along, and Dragon, that's his name. And this person is a mentally disabled person. He can't defend himself. So the main character, called Zhong Cao, Mid Autumn, that's it's like a given name. So I'm just gonna call him Zhong Chao. Okay. So Zhong Chao, he saw Along, and he decided to defend him. And he doesn't even know why. Like, he's not the kind of person who would sympathize with others. He's not the kind of person who would like to help others. He's not the very, good, justice, righteousness kind of person. But yet, for some reason, he decides to help the poor, mentally disabled guy and fight off his bullies. And then at the same time, he was assigned to take the money from a family, from a widow and her daughter, and he actually fell in love with the daughter. And the daughter had kidney cancer, so the daughter was dying. And Zhang Chao keeps on convincing himself, okay, the daughter, she's not gonna die. I hope she doesn't die. I really actually seriously love her, even though he himself doesn't know why he actually cares about people. And then all at the same time, there's this one teenage girl who jumped off a building and committed suicide. And after she committed suicide on the ground, there were two letters, like death letters, right? And Along, the mentally disabled guy, picked those letters up and brought it to Zhang Chao, and Zhang Chao begins to ponder about death. First of all, this movie, you can't really put it in a specific genre or anything. The best way to describe this movie is that it is a very smooth and natural blend of comedy, drama, and tragedy. There are a lot of really, actually really funny moments in this movie, like, again, the kids who bully the mentally disabled guy, Long. So the mentally disabled guy was hiding in the bathroom, in the public bathroom, and these kids, they kick down some stall and see some random stranger pissing, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, sorry," and then they kick down the other stall and saw Long, and they were just beating him up, taking off his pants. That's hilarious, and there are many other really funny moments. But then at the same time, there's the tragic element. Death is a very consistent theme in this movie, and while this movie isn't a super, dark and grim and depressing, it's not filled with violence. Instead, it feels really easygoing. We're really watching life in the perspective of the main character, and the main character, he has no life. He just, hangs out with people, beats people up, taking smoking weed, and at the end, he just sees all these people dying around him, and he's like, "Well, my life is kind of pointless now. I guess I should die too." So it actually has a very dreadful feeling towards the end. I also really like this movie for how bold and ambitious it is. This is a movie released in 1997 in Hong Kong, a place in Asia, okay? And this movie has multiple scenes where the characters masturbate, they do drugs, of course, violence happens, knife stabbing, guns firing. And to make the taboo of this movie even more taboo, there is literally a scene where the main characters, Zhong Chao, the mentally disabled guy Long, and the girl who's dying, who Zhong Chao fell in love with, Ping, they hopped around on people's headstones in the middle of a cemetery. And what's funny is that while Zhong Chao doesn't really care about death in that scene, Peng kept on saying, one day my kidney cancer is gonna get me. I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna be here. Wow, this is actually a pretty cool place. Like I like to have my ashes buried here. And Zhong Chao's like, come on, don't say that. You're gonna get well. You're gonna get better. It's gonna be fine. But we all know that that's not how real life works. Yeah, again, I really, really love the natural, smooth dialogue. I haven't watched like many Hong Kong films, but from the ones I've watched, especially Election by Johnny To, I thought, wow, Hong Kong media dialogues are just so forced and so rigid and stiff. It's awkward. And same goes for like every single TV show in Hong Kong. But when I saw this movie, I was like, wow, the dialogues, they feel natural, they feel smooth, they feel realistic, and even when characters are talking about, very grim topics like death or crime, the writers still managed to make this movie feel real and grounded, and the dialogues are just so natural. I really enjoy that. And the cinematography and the editing, while it's not like super great or anything, it's actually not bad at all. It has a very iconic late 90s, early 2000s Hong Kong vibe with the jump cuts and the overexposure flashes. There's this one scene where the main character, Zhong Chao, he acquired a gun, and he's no buff gangsta, but he thought it's really cool. So there's this entire like 3 minute long scene where he just dances around with the gun, listening to music, and that just really shows his character, and I really really enjoy it. Now, of course, there are flaws in this movie. Like there's a sound problem in this movie. The background sound is always super noisy sometimes. Sometimes the actors speaking and the audio recorded is out of sync, and sometimes the sound effects are pretty bad. But overall, I actually enjoy this movie a lot. I really love the poetic ending of this movie. It really hit me in the feels. So yeah, I just recommend everyone to watch this movie. I don't know if there's an English sub version. I saw this movie on YouTube and there's no sub, but I know Cantonese, so I know this movie. I understand this movie, but I wish there's a sub version of this movie. So yeah, I love this movie a lot. It's a movie worth watching, and I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 out of 10. Yes, a light 9. Please watch this movie. It's so underrated, so criminally underrated. Oh my god. Thanks for watching.